Welcome to Part 8 of Jamie Heath's October 8, 2025 deposition. Hudson. Mr. Heath, I'm handing you a document that we've marked as Exhibit 21. Hudson. Exhibit 21 is an email chain between Mr. Heath and Jed Wallace dated August 10, 2024, SR_154 through 55. Exhibit 21 marked for identification. Hudson. Do you recognize this communication between you and Mr. Wallace, Mr. Heath? I do. And you participated in this on August 10th, 2024, starting on August 10th, 2024. I did. Okay, and the first communication in the chain is from you to Mr. Wallace, right? It is. And you asked Mr. Wallace to give you a call, correct? I do. Did you talk to Mr. Wallace? Did he give you a call? I don't remember who called, but we did speak. You did speak. And what did you discuss? I have pretty much a very customary thing that I do whenever there's someone that's going to be working with us at Wayfair. I want to say hello regardless of what they are doing, and then have them hear from me who we are, how we want to go about things. I know that you've joined the team, so nice to meet you. You know, we've hired Crisis because we just need some consultation of some of the stuff we've been experiencing and some of our fears and all that we've been through at this point. And I know that you're here to assist, and just please know I'm not suggesting you're doing anything that would not be consistent with who we are, but I want you to hear from me about how we operate. We exchanged some pleasantries, and the rest seems to be about that. Did Mr. Wallace say anything in this phone call? Great to meet you. We will do our best to monitor and to, do some good work. And it was more on that regard. Did he say anything else? I don't recall exactly what he said, but that was the purpose of the call. Did you talk at all about what Mr. Wallace would be doing for Wayfarer? I don't believe so. And I think you said you wanted to make sure that you're not suggesting that you're doing anything that would not be consistent with who we are. Did you have some concern that Mr. Wallace might be doing some work that would be inconsistent with who Wayfarer is? Glover, objection form. Jamie, no, I didn't have concern about him specifically. I just have this conversation with everyone. Every movie that we make, anyone that we're involved with in any level, I always express how I like to do business. And he was one included in that. Hudson, and you didn't ask him anything about the work he was going to be doing for the money that Wayfair was paying him. Is that right? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't believe so. I don't think so. Hudson, did you have any other conversations with Mr. Wallace at all other than this one? Yeah, we had a few conversations. When was your next conversation with Mr. Wallace? I don't remember when the next one was. Was it in August of 2024? It may have been. I don't recall when it was. How many times did you speak with Mr. Wallace in August of 2024? A handful. I don't know exactly. And do you recall any of those conversations with any specificity? From our first conversation, he seemed like a really nice guy. I remember we talked about our kids, and he would just check in. How are you doing? He knew that there was a lot of social noise going on, and he was just oftentimes calling to express for lack of better word, his love. So, your conversations with Mr. Wallace after meeting him in August of 2024 were about his love for you? Shapiro, objection. Glover, objection form. Jamie, no. Hudson, when you say his love, what do you mean by that? That's a term I would use just to express some nice words of encouragement. You see what's going on. We're monitoring. I hope you're well. Things of that nature. Did he tell you what he saw was going on? We did not really get into that much, other than him saying things like, things are looking okay out there, so sorry for what's going on. He would give some general acknowledgments of that nature, but we didn't get into the weeds. He didn't tell you what it was he saw? I don't recall exactly what was said, but we did not get into weeds of stuff. So your testimony is that in the conversations that you had with Mr. Wallace, they were just check-ins essentially about your well-being? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I'm looking at our text threads here. I appreciate this message. Congrats on a big weekend. Appreciate you. Looking forward to meeting you. Just checking in. That was typically, we connected. Hudson, you didn't have conversations about the work, though. Is that what you're saying? That you had contracted with Mr. Wallace to do for nearly $100,000. Shapiro, objection. Glover, objection form. Jamie, it would be like me having a conversation with somebody about a world in a language I just don't understand. That wasn't our conversation. It was just more we connected, and that was what our conversations were. Hudson, I'm trying to understand why you feel the world that Mr. Wallace occupied was something that you couldn't understand. Why is that? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I'm not a digital monitoring person that understands social media and all of that. So, Hudson, what did you understand digital monitoring to mean? Monitoring what was going on in the digital realm. And you weren't curious about how Mr. Wallace did that? It wasn't I didn't have any reason to be concerned about it or think about it beyond that. It just was he was here to help. And that's all that mattered. He was doing it in a way that I understood was aligned with us. On August 11th, Mr. Wallace said, you refer to Signal. Do you see that? Which one is this? August 11th at 12:02 a.m. Hey man, I appreciate your message. I could tell after speaking with you. In the middle, you say, as read, As for Signal, I'm not on it, but we'll set that up this week for sure. I'll let you know once I've done that. Do you see that? I do. Did you set up Signal at this time? I must have. I think I might. I think I did. And did you let Mr. Wallace know that you had set it up? I don't know. Did you communicate with Mr. Wallace on Signal at this after August 11th, 2024? I think there was a few messages sent. When did you first send a Signal message to Mr. Wallace? I don't recall. When did you first receive a Signal message from Mr. Wallace, if at all? I don't recall. I guess it would have been around this time. That's my guess. Okay, and did you communicate on Signal with anyone else after you obtained Signal? I don't think so. The only person, there could have been somebody, but I don't think so. The only one you recall communicating with on Signal was Mr. Wallace? Shapiro, Jamie, the time, I don't remember. It could have been, I would have to refresh my memory. Maybe there was something with Jen and Melissa on there, but I don't have a specific memory of it. Hudson, did you have a group chain with Mr. Wallace, Miss Abel, and Miss Nathan at this time? I don't know if that was on Signal or a text message, but I think that we did. You think you did on Signal? I don't know which one. Shapiro, objection. Hudson, you might have on Signal? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, we may have. Hudson, you believe that there was at minimum a text chain with you, Miss Nathan, and Mr. Wallace. Glover, objection form. Hudson, regardless of platform. Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I think there may have been. I'm happy to be refreshed. Hudson, other than Mr. Wallace and possibly Miss Nathan and Miss Abel, is there anyone else that you recall communicating with on Signal and in August of 2024? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't know the month. There was so many ways of communicating. Email, phone, text messages. Signal could have been one of them. I just don't know. Hudson, so you may have communicated with other people on Signal in August of 2024 other than the ones you identify. I don't have a particular recollection of it because I think that was the only people that I communicated with at that time, but I don't know. Did you communicate with Mr. Friedman on Signal in August of 2024? I don't know. You may have. I don't know. Did you communicate with Mr. Baldoni on Signal in August of 2024? I don't know. When you downloaded Signal, did you make any effort to change any of the settings for the handling of preservation of messages? In August? When you downloaded Signal? No. Did the messages that you exchanged on Signal in August of 2024 automatically disappear as far as you know? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I think that depends on whatever thread I was on. Whoever initiated it may have set the settings. I don't have any particular memory of myself setting something to disappear. Hudson, and did you set up your Signal messages so that they would not disappear? In August? Yes. I don't believe I was thinking about that. Did you communicate by Signal in September of 2024? I may have. And who do you believe you may have communicated with on Signal in September of 2024? Pure objection. Jamie, it would be a guess. I just don't know. Hudson, did you communicate with Mr. Wallace on Signal in September of 2024? Glover, action form. Jamie, I may have. Hudson, did you communicate with Miss Abel on Signal in September of 2024? I may have. Did you communicate with Miss Nathan on Signal in 2024? I may have. Did you communicate with Mr. Friedman on Signal in 2024, in September of 2024? I know for sure not. And why do you know that one for sure? Well, because I only had one conversation with Mr. Friedman. On Signal? No. I had one conversation with him. I don't remember what month it was. Maybe it was in August. Did you communicate with anyone on Signal in October of 2024? I may have. And did you communicate with Mr. Wallace on Signal in October of 2024? It's the same. I may have. I don't have a particular recollection of it. I'm certainly not disputing that I would or would. I just don't have a memory. I don't know. Did you communicate? Do you have any memory of communicating with Mr. Wallace in November of 2024 on Signal? I may have. And I asked you about Mr. Wallace in October and November. In those months, did you communicate with Miss Nathan or Miss Abel on Signal? Shapiro, objection. Amy, I may have. So, did you communicate with any Wayfair employees on Signal between August and December 2024? I don't know during that period of time. You don't know, but you may have? I don't have a memory of it during that time, no. For any of the communications that you had on Signal between August and December 2024, do you have any of them still? Glover, objection, form. Jamie, I haven't done anything to them. Hudson, you haven't done anything to them? I haven't deleted anything. Have you looked at Signal to see if you have any messages with Mr. Wallace, Miss Abel, Miss Nathan, or anyone else connected to this matter between August and December 2024? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't recall. Hudson, you don't know if you've looked? From August to December? Yes. Shapiro, objection. Jamie, you're saying from August to December, that period, if I've looked even like yesterday or last month or that? Or are you talking about in that time frame? Hudson, have you looked forward to see if you have any of the Signal communications that you engaged in with Mr. Wallace, Abel, Miss Nathan, or anyone else connected with this matter for the time period August 2024 through December 2024? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't know. Hudson, you don't know if you've looked? I don't know. Do you have your phone here with you? I do. Is Signal on your phone? it is. So if we wanted to know if you had any communications between August and December of 2024 with Mr. Wallace, Miss Nathan, or Miss Abel, anyone else affiliated with this manner, you could check, correct? Shapiro, objection. Glover, objection form. Jamie, in theory, sure. Hudson, you would be capable of looking, right? I am capable. Okay, the signal messages that you believe you engaged in with Mr. Wallace in August of 2024, do you recall what the subject matter of those communications were? Shapiro, objection. Glover, objection form. Jamie, I don't. Hudson, did Mr. Wallace tell you why he wanted you to, why he suggested signal for you? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't remember specifically. Hudson, do you remember generally? I think Signal, from what I understood, was a platform that was protected beyond many others that could be hacked. So that's what I understood the reason for people using Signal. Did you observe in any of the communications that you made on Signal that they disappeared? Did I ever observe? Repeat that, please. Yes, let me strike that. I'm going to ask you a different question. Okay. For the time period between August 2024 and December 2024, do you recall ever observing that a message you had sent or received on Signal during that time period disappeared? I don't have a particular memory of it. Okay, did Wayfair have any policies, procedures, or practices regarding document retention? All of our emails are retained. There is no auto-delete. Are they retained forever? I believe so. Okay, does Wayfair have any policies or practices on document retention? I do not know the answer to that, if we have a particular policy about document retention. So you said that your emails don't auto-delete, right? Are there any policies that direct employees not to delete emails manually? I don't know the answer to that. Does Wayfair have any policies, procedures, or practices regarding document deletion? I don't know the answers to that in generally. Have you taken any steps to learn if Wayfair has any policies, practices, or procedures regarding document retention or deletion? Shapiro, objection. Just to be clear again, he's not here as a 30B6 witness. Jamie, I have not taken any particular steps as a company to make sure that there is some sort of policy, but Wayfair is aware to not delete anything. Hudson, and how would you know? How is Wayfair aware not to delete anything? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, once we received the CRD complaint, sometime at that point we were made aware and that was communicated. Hudson, so you weren't aware of any obligations to preserve or not delete documents until you received the CRD complaint? Shapiro, objection. Jamie was not aware. Hudson, so did you make any effort to preserve or not delete documents prior to receiving the CRD complaint? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, other than what I said, that there was no reason or auto-delete happening, there was no particular effort to go outside the normal scope. Hudson, and you said that you received instructions to preserve documents after Miss Lively filed her CRD complaint? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't know if it was the CRD complaint or the lawsuit. I don't recall, but during that period, we learned that there was, or maybe it was a notice from Mr. Gottlieb. Sometime in that frame, we were made aware. I don't recall where it came from. Hudson, are you talking about the cease and desist letter that we sent? It may have been that. I don't recall exactly. It was just in that time frame. And did you take some steps to preserve documents once you received the cease and desist letter? Yes. What steps did you take? Made sure that personally, if there was anything that was said to disappear or delete, that you were not. Told Wayfair parties to not delete anything that in case they otherwise might. I can't recall at that moment, but I think those were the general steps. Okay, and did you have any personal devices that were set for automatic deletion at that time? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, there may have been some threads that were on Signal, so I just reviewed them and made sure that they were not on disappearing mode. Hudson, so what was that? What was there between August and December 2024? You ensured it was not on auto disappearing mode? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't understand the question. Hudson, well, you said that you had some communications between August and December of 2024, correct? Yes. And when you got the cease and desist letter, you looked at the threads to make sure that they were not on automatic disappearing mode, correct? Correct. So at the time that you did that, those threads existed, correct? Correct, I imagine so. And they should still be there then, right? I believe they would be. And were any of those threads related to any way to Miss Lively, Mr. Reynolds, or any of the issues in this litigation? Shapiro, objection form. Jamie, I didn't pay attention to the content. I just made sure that whatever thread there was not, there is nothing in there that would auto-delete or auto-disappear. Hudson, and that's for all your Signal communications? I believe so, yes. And you said that there were instructions given to other Wayfair parties. How were those instructions given? If I recall, I had a meeting with everyone that we had received a lawsuit or something and instruct everybody to just preserve, if they weren't already, their documents. And this was verbal, this meeting? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I believe so. Hudson, and who was at that meeting? Was it, let me ask you this way. It was Zoom? Was it in person? How did this meeting take place? Mostly in person. There may have been some Zoom participants. And who was present? It would have been the Wayfair staff. All the Wayfair staff? I believe so. You assembled the whole company? I do that often. Okay, but I'm asking you here, you assembled the whole company to? I believe so. And was the purpose of that to discuss document preservation? That's one of the things that I had said. I don't recall the exact purpose, but that was something that I expressed. Did you take any steps to ensure that people followed that direction? I don't recall. When Mr. Wallace talked to you about Signal, did he mention the app's disappearing feature? I don't believe so. Did he tell you that he used the app's disappearing feature? Glover, objection, form. Jamie, I don't believe so. Hudson, did Mr. Wallace suggest to you that you should use the app's disappearing feature? I don't believe so. Glover, objection, form. Hudson, did Mr. Wallace give you any explanation at all as to why you should communicate using Signal? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't recall. I just know that I understood again that it was a safe platform to share sensitive material that oftentimes can be hacked through other means. Hudson, and what sensitive material did you understand that Mr. Wallace might be sharing with you? Glover, objection, form. Jamie, we were talking about sensitive text, this movie and our fear and crisis and how we managed through this, and that seemed to be something we wouldn't want any chance of someone hacking. Hudson, and those are the things you talked to Mr. Wallace about on Signal? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, no, I'm giving you my reason of my understanding of why we would use Signal. Hudson, okay, we talked earlier about Shane Norman's lawsuit against Wayfair. Do you recall that? I do. Wayfair was also sued by Travis Flores, correct? Yes. And Travis Flores sued for copyright and infringement based on his book 3 Feet Apart, correct? I don't know what the name of the book was, but I think that's basically the story. And he claimed that the Wayfair movie 5 Feet Apart was based on his story, right? I believe something like that. And it was your lawyer, Brian Friedman, who represented Mr. Flores in that lawsuit, correct? I've learned something to that extent, but I don't believe I was at Wayfair at the time. Okay, and did you see Mr. Friedman's statement in January 2025 about the fact that he was representing you after having represented Mr. Flores in a lawsuit against Wayfarer? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I vaguely recall something about it. Hudson, and do you recall that he said that the previous lawsuit that he filed against Mr. Baldoni and Wayfarer, that Mr. Baldoni had done nothing wrong and that there was no liability on their part whatsoever? Shapiro, objection. Hudson, you're saying that's in his statement? Hudson, yes, do you recall hearing that statement from Mr. Friedman? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I have a vague memory of that, something of that. Hudson, and do you recall Mr. Friedman's statement in which he said, as a result, the case was resolved without any liability on Justin's or Wayfarer or any other defendant's part? This only further confirmed to me that Justin and Wayfarer are exceedingly honorable and highly ethical. Okay. Shapiro, objection. Hudson, do you recall that statement from Mr. Friedman? I have a vague memory of it. Did it concern you at all that Mr. Friedman sued you even though he believed his client did nothing wrong and that there was no liability on your part whatsoever? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, can you repeat that, please? Hudson, did it concern you at all that Brian Friedman sued Wayfair and Mr. Baldoni even though he believed that they did nothing wrong and that there was no liability on their part whatsoever? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, well, I don't know. I don't know what the timing of that, so I can't really speak to it. It could certainly mean that after he took the case and was moving forward, he learned otherwise, and that was his statement. I don't know. I can speak to it. Hudson, well, did it concern you that Mr. Friedman publicly stated that his own client claims had no merit? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I didn't give it a mind. Hudson, you didn't give it a mind? No. You didn't think about that? I did not. Shapiro, objection. Hudson, okay, did you know that Mr. Flores was dead at the time Mr. Friedman made his statement? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I am aware that Mr. Flores has passed, yes. Hudson, okay. Shapiro, counsel, this has nothing to do with this lawsuit. Hudson, I don't need your speaking objections. My questions are done. We're moving on. Thank you. Don't waste my time on the record with that. Well, you shouldn't waste the witness's time and counsel's time. Crosstalk. Hudson, I'm going to hand the witness a document. Shapiro, with matters not proper matters of discovery. Hudson, that's a speaking objection. Please do not make it. Thank you. Shapiro, you got 14 minutes left. Hudson, are you aware that Mr. Friedman threatened your... Shapiro, 14. Hudson, counsel. Shapiro, counsel. Hudson, let's go off the record. You can say whatever you want to say to me off the record. Shapiro, let's go back on the record. Let's go back on the record. Hudson, I'm not going on the record. You're not using my time. Crosstalk. Shapiro, if you're going to use them up. Go. Videographer, off the record? Shapiro, no, go back on the record. Hudson, I am not using my time for you to talk. Hudson, are you aware that Mr. Friedman threatened journalists on Wayfarer's behalf? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't know what you're referring to. Hudson, are you aware that Mr. Friedman told a journalist that you are a liar and dishonest and I'm coming after you? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I don't know what you're referring to. Hudson, I'm going to hand the reporter a document, hand the witness a document that we marked as Exhibit 22. Exhibit 7 marked for identification. Jamie, okay. Hudson, this is a text chain between Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath dated December 24th, 2022. Hudson, actually, can we switch that out? That was Exhibit 7 that I had previously marked. Jamie, you don't want me to read this? Hudson, I'm going to take that one because I'm going to give you Exhibit 7 instead. Do you recognize this as a text chain between you and Mr. Baldoni on December 24th, 2022, bait stamped Baldoni 33491? Shapiro, I don't have Exhibit 7. I have 6 and 8. Hudson, Shapiro, I don't have Exhibit 7. I have 6 and 8. Hudson, you can take Exhibit 22 as now Exhibit 7. Shapiro, okay. Jamie, what was your question? Hudson, I just asked if you recognize this text chain. I don't yet. I need to look at it. Have you looked at this long enough to recognize it as a text chain between you and Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, I haven't because I don't recall this. Hudson, you don't recall this text chain? I don't. Okay, do you recall Mr. Baldoni sending you a text in which he drafted a communication to Warren Zavala? I'm sorry, as I said, I don't recall this. So, do you know who Warren Zavala is? I do. You don't recall Mr. Baldoni giving you a draft of a text communication to Mr. Zavala? I don't recall this. So, okay, well, you can you see on page 333492 that Mr. Baldoni has written you a text? I can see that. Okay, and at the top of the text, it says Warren. Do you see that? I'm so sorry. If you're going to hand me a document, I want to be able to read it. I'm only asking you if you see the word Warren. Do you need to read the whole text to answer that question, Mr. Heath? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, but before you ask me questions about it, if you're going to hand me a document, I would like to know what I'm reading. Hudson, I am not asking you questions about the whole document. Yeah, I'm only asking you if you see the word Warren. Do you see that? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, okay, I can see Warren. Hudson, okay, thank you. And then if you look at the first paragraph that Mr. Baldoni has written here, I'm sorry, are you refusing to answer questions unless you read this entire document? Shapiro, objection. Jamie, if you're going to ask me something about a document, I just want to be able to read it. Hudson, go ahead, finish reading it. You've already read about half of it. You can finish. No, I hadn't. I would like to read it if you're going to ask me. I just want to understand what I'm responding to. Hudson, okay, let's go off the record. Shapiro, we're not going off the record. Hudson, I'm taking a break. Yes, we are. Shapiro, we're not going off the record. Hudson, yes, we are. Yes, we are. It's not up to you. This is my deposition. We're going to go off the record. Bach, how much time is left? Shapiro, there's 6 minutes left. Oh, sorry, 7 minutes. Hudson, okay, I have 7 minutes. Videographer, 9 minutes left. Hudson, 9. There you go. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll come back for the last 9. Bach, let's make a record before you go. Let's make a record. Crosstalk. Hudson, not on the record. Not on my time. Bach, can we go on the record? Hudson, absolutely not. Okay, you can go on the record and make any statement you want. Bach, I'm going to go on the record. Hudson, but you're not taking my 9 minutes. You're not taking my 9 minutes to make a record. So, Shapiro, so you can ask more questions about a dead former client of one of the lawyers in this case? Hudson, if you want to make a Shapiro, and how is that proper? Hudson, I understand that you are new to this case and you don't understand everything. Bach, I want to go on the record. I don't care whether crosstalk. Shapiro, I'm new to this case, but I'm not new to the practice of law. I've been practicing law for over 30 years. I know the rules, ma'am. Hudson, we're going off the record. I have 9 minutes left and I'm going to use them to ask some questions. If you want to make a record, you can add time and make whatever record you want. Bach, okay. Hudson, okay. Will you agree that you will? This is not counting against my 9 minutes? Bach, that's fine, but I want it on the record. I want a record of what's happened. Hudson, you want a record of what's happened? Bach, yes. Hudson, you can make a record if you will. Bach, I would like to if you will let me. Hudson, if I will let you if you will agree that it is not going to impact my 9 minutes. Bach, I've already said fine to that. Do I need to say it again? Hudson, okay, you can make whatever record you want. I'm going to take a break. Bach, okay, can we go on the record for this? Hudson, you don't need the video for this. You can just do it for the... Bach, I'll do it on the video. I don't need the video. Videographer, we're still on the record. Bach, are we on the record? Yeah, Bach, are we on the record? Yeah, I just want to say, we had a break less than an hour ago. We made clear to counsel that we don't want another break, that this same witness is being deposed tomorrow, that this process is exhausting, that he's expected to testify for another 7 hour plus breaks tomorrow. She came back from a break, and part of her questioning had nothing whatsoever to do with the claims and defenses in this case. She was clearly at the point where the questioning becomes optional and rhetorical, and she engaged in a series of questions aimed to drive a wedge between this deponent and his lawyer and to tarnish the reputation of the lawyer. That is how she has used her time. Hudson, this has nothing... Bach, excuse me, I'm making a record. Hudson, then we are going to excuse the witness from the room because you are speaking and coaching the witness right now. Bach, I'm not coaching the witness at all. Hudson, this is totally inappropriate. This is totally inappropriate. You are coaching the witness. You are making a very long speaking objection. There is no purpose. There's no judge in the room. Everything that you're saying is you can make an argument about it. We're not going to do it in front of the witness. Technically, a speaking objection is when there's a question pending and you object to the question. Hudson, no. Bach, I'm not objecting to crosstalk. Hudson, speaking on the record is not permitted like this. You're objecting to the break. Objection noted. We're taking a break. Bach, all right, this is silly. Hudson, okay. Bach, this is silly. Hudson, I do not want you to coach the witness anymore. And Shapiro, we're not coaching the witness. Hudson, make other statements on the record about the witness. If you insist on doing that, the witness should leave the room, okay? Bach, I'm going to defer to you in every respect. Whatever I need to do to let you make my statement on the record, I'm going to do, okay? Hudson, then you can excuse the witness from the room if you insist on making this statement. Bach, okay. Jamie, go outside. Go outside as I continue. After we make clear our concerns about breaks, the witnesses. Hudson, yeah, I would like to also note that you are not the representative lawyer. Bach, if you cut me off again, I'm going to call Judge Hyman on the phone now. Hudson, you want to tell him that you, who are not defending the deposition, are wanting to make a 10-minute speaking objection? Can you let me speak and then you can make whatever speech you want about me and you can say whatever you want about me, but you're going to let me crosstalk? Hudson, yeah, Mr. Bach, you are not defending this deposition. You are a participant here who has decided to make a speech on the record. Bach, we're not kids on a playground. You just said if Mr. Heath left, I could make my statement. Now you're not letting me make my statement. Can I make my statement? You can make your statement. Hudson, you can make your statement over my objection, okay? Bach, just let me know when I can make my... Hudson, you should... Bach, statement. I'm just going to sit here and not say. Hudson, you should not be making any statement on the record. Bach, anything until you tell me I can make my statement. Hudson, if you are disrupting the deposition in order to make a statement as the non-defending lawyer in this deposition. Bach, are you done? Hudson, and I don't agree. I excuse the witness. And if you want to continue, I'm just going to let you do this so we can finish this deposition. And then we're going to take a break and we're going to take our last 9 minutes. So if you want to make the statement for whatever reason, go ahead. Bach, are you done? Hudson, I'm done. Bach, okay, can I talk? Hudson, you can talk. Bach, okay. As I've been saying, after we made clear that we're concerned about the breaks, we're concerned about the witness being tired, the next line of questioning had nothing to do with the case, but simply had to do with the client and his lawyer and trying to drive a wedge. And now the questioning lawyer wants to take yet another break. It's clear from the content of her questioning that she's no longer focused on the merits of the case and that she's conducted her substantive questioning. I don't see another need for a break. I think the deposition is practically over. The client is tired and has to go tomorrow. I think this is abusive. I think it's unnecessary. And I object. Hudson, all right, 10 minutes off the record. Thank you. Videographer, we're going off the record. The time is 7:24 p.m. Recess, we're back on the record. The time is 7:34 p.m. The drama between these lawyers are hilarious. Probably my favorite part of this whole thing. So I'll see you in part 9.